The city that will greet Democratic Party delegates next month has come a long way from its roots in the Old West. Denver's history begins during Colorado's gold rush of 1858 at the confluence of Cherry Creek and the South Platte River. Few prospectors struck it rich, but enough came to establish a stake in the region's boom-and-bust mining economy. Mayor Robert W. Speer's election in 1904 was an early turning point in Denver history. University of Colorado history professor Tom Noel says Speer began a program of public works that led to Denver's selection as the host city for the Democratic National Convention of 1908.
He hoped to transform Denver into what he called Paris on the Platte, or the City Beautiful, using Washington, D.C. as a prototype, in Paris and Berlin, and did impose this grid of parks and parkways and mountain parks, and a beautiful civic center, and a brand new municipal auditorium.
A century ago, outside this municipal auditorium, locals welcomed Democratic delegates to Denver with wagons piled high with snow from the nearby Rocky Mountains. Apache Indians performed war dances and whoops, which Noel says the local press reported this way.
It was very difficult to tell the wild Indians from the Democrats, except that the Democrats yelled all the time and wore more badges.
Security costs, which today can run to about $50 million, were not nearly as steep in 1908.
Then it was a few Pinkerton detectives and a few off-duty Denver police. They said their only real problem was pickpockets, although there was one snowball fight among Democrats where they arrested 40 Democrats.
William Jennings Bryan headed the Democratic Party's presidential ticket in 1908, a charismatic speaker like this year's presumptive nominee, Senator Barack Obama. Noel points to other parallels: troubled national economies, opposition to a foreign war, Iraq now and the Spanish-American War then, and the clamor for women's rights.
In Colorado, women had been given the right to vote in 1893 ahead of the rest of the country. So they were actually voting women delegates at both the Democratic and Republican conventions. But they were disappointed in Denver's case when the Democrats did not endorse national women's suffrage, which didn't happen until 1919.
In 2008, city leaders say they hope the nearly $41 million being spent on this political convention will help boost economic growth and increase tourism in the region. Noel says organizers had the same idea a century ago when Denver's mining industry was in the throes of collapse.
And they were beginning to promote tourism and conventions. The Denver Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau was actually founded that same year to try to keep more conventions coming after doing such a great job with the Democrats.
While there are no plans to cart snow down from the mountains to cool off delegates this August, the 50,000 visitors to the Democratic National Convention in Denver will find a vibrant, thriving urban community, one that celebrates its wise choice a century ago to become a convention-friendly town. Rosanne Skirble, VOA News, Denver.